Hey guys, today is January 14th. Um, so yesterday is when I recorded my venting video that I'm not sure if I uploaded. Right now it's still on private and I don't know if I'm going to release it yet. But I was cleaning out the shed in it, and this is my progress so far. It's just a tiny pile of trash. Dirt really, and this is all the stuff that was in there, and I threw away a lot of stuff. I hear the trash guys coming, so luckily I decided to turn on the camera. Um, this is the trash. Me and Lucky have been working on this for a few days now. He worked on it before he went back to Middle Tennessee, and now I'm pretty much finishing up the shed at least. The garage is a whole different story. I'm not even going to worry about that. But my plan is to turn the shed into a sort of recording studio type thing. So I can have like my desk in there, have like if I want to play video games, have my video games set up. I really haven't been gaming in a long time. And it helps a lot. Let me see. I am sad about a lot of stuff. Um, and like I haven't really been eating, and I know that's not good, and I want to eat. I want to be healthy. And like I had track practice yesterday, and we were playing basketball right after, and I know that's not healthy to do on an empty stomach. It's just being sad is hard, and that was one of the reasons I went ahead and went to work. It was like, you know, I thought I had physical therapy that day, and it turns out I didn't, and I was like, well, I could have stayed home because I already told my coach, like, I'm not going to be at work today. But when I found out I didn't have physical therapy, I was like, well, I might as well go because I don't want to. It's a mixture of me not wanting to sit at home all day, and also like I felt like I had to do something. And even my coach was like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "I'm sick of a lot of stuff. Like I am a little bit congested. I am a little bit sick, but really I had just been crying all day, and I spent the whole night crying because I'm just sad about a lot of stuff going on." And it's one thing in particular that's making me the most sad is just the fact that like usually I can do things about my problems, and that particular problem I can't do anything about because I'm not in control of it. And that's what sucks the most, is not being in control of some problems and like leaving it in the hands of like you want to say leaving it in the hands of the other person, but when I think of it as leaving it in the hands of the universe, it makes me feel better, or leaving it in the hands of God, it makes me feel better because it lets me know that like there's still a chance. And it's like right now there's just so much physical or verbal evidence of things not going the way that I would like for them to go, but I know that it could change. It's just the fact that like so much has already happened, so much has already been said, to where like my mindset, like even if what I wanted to happen did happen, my mindset probably couldn't even handle it, and either I'd reject it, or like I just wouldn't be able to react the way that I would want to react because I'm already so sad about it. And it's like other people don't really get that, because I don't know why. It just seems like for some reason when other people get like good news after being sad, they're able to just be happy. I'm not. It's like I went through too much to get to this point. Like this hurts, and I didn't expect to have to go through this type of pain just for it to be like boom, it's better. Like it's different if it's like a process and it starts to get better and I can prepare myself for it. It's like when I had a lot of real estate closings, I was always going through so much shit, or like the business was just doing so shitty, and it was like really hard to enjoy picking up a check from the title company, and that's like a sucky thing to have to deal with. It just sucks, man. And I'm one of the hardest things is keeping faith alive when it just seems like everything except for faith is dead. And And I know one situation in particular, the universe is keeping it from happening as soon as it's been expected to happen. And I appreciate God for that, because it's like, if things were to happen as abruptly as basically things were discussed in the first place, then who knows where I'd be at right now. Because like, there's a reason that there's blockages. If you know you're going to make a bad decision, or you're going to make a decision that is going to hurt somebody, sometimes you're either prevented from doing it, or it's delayed to give you time to think about it. And then by the time you have the opportunity, you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. And I feel like that's what I'm not going through it right now, but other people are, as far as like dealing with me. And like, it's very tiring to, like, but okay, I don't know. Okay, so if you're familiar with Christianity, there's something called God's favor, and it's basically like having His ultimate protection from just a lot of stuff. And in a lot of the situations I've been in, and discussing them with people who've been in other situations like that, I do, oh my gosh, I do understand that I have a lot of God's favor. And to other people that might seem unfair, but it's like, I have dedicated my life to this religion. I have dedicated my life to Jesus twice now. I just did December 7th, 2019. I wanted to make sure I was straight before the new decade started. And it's like, why shouldn't I have God's favor? Why shouldn't I be protected from certain types of situations? Like, I've never been raped before. I've never had a carjacking. And I live in Memphis, Tennessee, where a lot of this stuff happens to a lot of people. Like, I know people personally who have gone through this type of thing. I've been sexually harassed, but, like, you know, that's everywhere. Men or boys just don't know how to behave a lot of times. And it's irritating, but that's just something we have to deal with. Like, just like slave women had to deal with their masters raping them and having kids and then breaking up their families and stuff. And it's just this idiotic cycle of torment for a lot of people that I have been able to observe. I've gone through a bit of it, and I'm just glad I have God's favor. Like, honestly, I like, it's crazy because it's like, oh, I thank myself, but it's like, I thank God above myself, because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be able to follow Him. I wouldn't be able to do the things that Jesus did. I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff. And then I don't know if my sister's video is going to be uploaded by this one, but my sister just turned 20, and you know, she talked to you guys about whatever she talked to you about. And I just hope that you were touched by the message, and I hope you weren't offended by my joke at the end. But it's just the fact that, like, Jesus is the only way to survive in this world and keep it mentally good. Because it's like, if you're just floating around without anything, I'm not saying any other religions are bad. I'm just saying the way to God. If you believe in other gods, I have no control over what you believe in, but I'm saying the only way to God is through Jesus. And if you're not covered by something and you're just floating around, you're just vulnerable to a lot of things. And I think that's a dangerous position to put yourself in, because we're just people. And people say, like, stop living in your own world or whatever, but that's exactly what you have to do, and that's exactly what everybody's doing. Everybody's living in their own world, but Christians have a type of connection that nobody else has. And one of the things that I dislike about Christianity is that there are so many different entities of it, whereas, like, if it was, you know, like, non-denominational, and I mean, I could go on about that, but we all pretty much have the same spiritual journey. It's just people's religions are, I can't agree with a lot of them. Like, you know, like Protestant versus Pentecostal versus Presbyterian. I grew up Pentecostal. That one to be honest, is one of the only ones that makes sense because everybody cries out to the Lord. The Pentecost was an entire event. It wasn't just a way of worship. It was the worship that everybody experienced at that time, to the point where everybody thought they were drunk. And it's like, no, they're not drunk. They're just exceedingly glad. And I'm just glad to have grown up in that type of worship environment versus the quiet type of praise. Because the thing was, all the kids that we grew up with, we all did a quiet type of praise, and a lot of us didn't do the whole Pentecostal thing. But as we got older, like, we were filled with the Holy Ghost, and we were Pentecostal after that point, or we experienced the Pentecost, or what it felt like during that time. And so the only thing that I didn't agree with was like how uneducated I was in Christianity, because I knew everything that everybody taught, but that wasn't enough for my adulthood. I only had a child's like Christian education, and that is saying like pretty much I stopped learning after age 13. And I think from 13 to 18, I started to get more involved in fellowship. And that's where I, you know, not necessarily hit a downfall. I just kind of lost myself in that, because it's like I was educating myself on things that I needed help with, and I wasn't really getting the spiritual guidance that I would have liked. Versus my sister, she graduated early, she went to college, and she got heavily involved in ministry to the point where she, what is she licensed as? Is she licensed as an evangelist? She's licensed as something, I think, or she got a certification in something. And my brother was a licensed prophet. My mom's an evangelist, and my uncle's a pastor, apostolic pastor. So like, I'm not new to ministry, Christianity, or anything like that. It's just, I feel like my spiritual journey was so different from everybody else's, and it's hard to get, not necessarily sound advice, just to see things the way that I see them. I guess that's the way to put it. But that wasn't even what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about how I was frustrated, but I guess I needed to talk about Jesus before I got to the part where I'm frustrated. So give me 1 second. The past few years, honestly, have been like hell. Honestly, since our business died. Because, like, we had everything, and we fell so hard. It wasn't even like a whoop, whoop. I mean, maybe the comeback will be like quicker than a lot of people expect, because like, the thing is, a lot of people have been like, just move out of your parents' house or whatever, and it's like, first of all, I know I'm not in position to move yet, because if I move, I'd probably only be able to get an apartment, and everything will have to be shitty, because like, I'm not making that much money right now. I haven't started my real estate campaigns yet, and I know once I start that, I'll be good on money. But last year, even when we did close, it was just like, it was too shitty. The life was too shitty. The money wasn't even the problem at the time. It was just, life was shitty itself. And I don't think people understand that. Like, money cannot solve your internal problems. It can't. And the sooner, the sooner you understand that, and the quicker you grasp it, and the quicker you decide to start working on yourself as a person, then you'll understand it, and then more money will start coming to you, which it did, for me. Can't say the same about other people, and it's like, the more I get money, the more somebody got to say something about it, and I'm like, I am literally paying off debts, for one thing, paying off, like, not like regular debt, the regular debt, I'm just gonna let that, get collected, or just write that off my credit report, stuff like that. But as far as like personal debt, like either with people or things that I have to get paid off immediately, that's the stuff I'm paying off right now. And that in itself has taken up a lot of my money, and it's like, I have to get this stuff paid off, otherwise like I will have more problems, and that's what I want to avoid. I want to avoid more problems in my life. And I don't know, man. It's just people have caused me issues that I didn't. I would understand if I was constantly going at somebody, constantly doing stuff to them, but to find out that like they're still talking about me, they're still trying to plot against me, and even like bothering my family and stuff. It's like it makes me so uneasy because it's like it's just a punk move, and I don't like punks. I don't like people who can't just sit and have a conversation. I don't like petty people. I can be petty, but it's like in a way that you don't even know that I'm being petty. As far as like me making sure that you see how well I'm doing. That's the type of petty I am. I kill people with kindness. I publicly pray for people that I don't like or didn't like. Um, just stuff like that. Because it's like, you know what? Even though you did this thing to me, I forgive you because that's what God said to do. So I forgive you. And that bothers people. And it's funny to me. That part is funny to me. But to go out of your way to do something bad to somebody, that's the type of petty that I don't like. I don't like that. I don't understand it. And it makes me very frustrated. Like, that makes me frustrated. Because it's like, what did I do to you? What did I do to you? I don't know. And then the flip side of that is people who do bad stuff to me don't even realize how bad it is because, like, for one, I don't even have the circle anymore. I had such a small circle of friends, small circle of family members that I typically talk to, small circle of business people that I associated with. And there's people out there talking about me in the Memphis real estate industry, and I'm just like, look, I haven't even been doing nothing for a while. I don't know why y'all are talking about me, especially the way you're talking about me, and it's gonna come back to me no matter what. It always does. And it's just annoying. It's just really annoying. And like, I don't know, but I feel like there's this guy from New York who's blackballing me from the entertainment industry. He was supposed to be my manager in Houston, and he asked me what my stage name was recently. He hasn't contacted me back, so, but he asked me what my stage name was, and I was like, Ellie. And I don't think he's following my social media or anything, because he's like, I don't know how old he is, but he was pretty old. He didn't know how to use Instagram at the time, and I don't think he understands the concept, because I could do a whole story time on that, but not, I already wrote a song that he asked me to write, and no contact back. And it's like, why would you ask my stage name? And the thing is, like, one of the girls who we were working with, she told me that he was talking bad about me to her, and he was talking bad about her to me, and it was like, you know, I just don't understand. He was a black man too. It's like, can y'all just stop being stupid? Just stop being stupid and just do your work. Like, I could go on a whole different rant about the entertainment industry. I'm really tired of men in the entertainment industry. I feel like the entertainment industry should be run by women, simply because women don't have the same motives as a lot of men do. This whole Me Too thing is ridiculous. I'm not saying that, you know, women aren't, you know, villainized at all, period. I remember the Katy Perry thing came out, and that was kind of creepy to me, but you're not hearing about women taking advantage of men as often as you hear about men taking advantage of women. And it's just ridiculous. I feel like Hollywood just needs to be washed. I don't know if Atlanta could take it, because Atlanta itself is just, like, I'm not going to talk bad about Atlanta. I did want to move there, but even going to Atlanta for my audition, like, that audition was bullshit, because nothing that they said in the description for us to be prepared for was even part of the thing. And it was like, how are you going to tell me to basically bring my what did they say? I forgot the words that they used, but it was basically like bring your brilliant ideas, bring topics that you know are important in this world, and then they didn't even ask us about any of that. They just made it like one of those typical reality show auditions, and it was like, if you wanted this to be, America's Next Top Model type thing, you should have said that in your description instead of getting people's hopes up for thinking that their brains were going to be considered besides their looks. Like, they checked this one girl because she wasn't dressed appropriately, and then they still let her on the show. And it was like, how are you going to point her out for not dressing appropriately and then pick her? I liked her. She was at my table. So I wasn't mad that she got picked. It was just like, really? That's what you guys are going... Okay, y'all fake too. Like, don't put shit in your audition requirements and not go by them. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, and it doesn't happen often. Like, the thing is, a lot of auditions are just like, are you skinny? Are you white? Are you in between the ages of 25 and 35? And then go. Are you black? Are you short? Are you curvy? Okay, go to your audition. And it's simple. And then they can, discriminate how they want to from there. But if you're going to say that you're going to base the show off of your intellect and then not even test anyone's intellect, I just find that disrespectful. It was a waste of time. But, yeah, I don't know. I would like to start a lot of stuff in Memphis. It's just, I know a lot of people in Memphis are not in the mindset yet. I feel like a lot of us are on the come up. Like, a lot of people in Memphis are on the come up. A lot of women in Memphis started their own businesses. A lot of men in Memphis are real estate guys, and I think it's pretty cool. I like how things are shifting and changing in the city. I do feel like I need to get out of the city though. I don't want to move or permanently remove myself. I do want to own property here. I'm on the verge of buying property here, so I'm not even worried about that. But I meant specifically like a home that I can come to instead of just rental properties. But yeah, man. I really, like, this is another random thoughts video. I've just been in my head a lot, and that's one of the reasons I started YouTube. I'm glad I'm kind of like getting back to my roots of YouTube, basically. And how long has it been? 8 years? I've been on YouTube for 8 years, so... Oh, and thank you guys for the new subscribers. We're at 497 now that I'm recording this on January 14th. Next goal is 1,000 after we get to 500. And I really appreciate all of you for following me on this journey. Please comment down below any ideas that you would like to see me do. I am going to bring back Teal Car Skit, where I'm basically talking to my 3 inner voices, and I think that's going to be fun. I really enjoy doing skits, and skits died on YouTube, which was why a lot of people stopped doing them, but I just want to do them. I think they're a good idea, and like, collabing with people is so hard. And to anyone who might be watching this, I'm sorry if you tried to collab with me and it didn't work out. I have a lot of personal problems, and I don't get to work with people the way that I want to, and it's so complicated sometimes. But anyway, this is a 20-minute video. Thank you for anyone who watched this far. Like, you're a real one. Thank you for the watch time. We gotta get to that 4,000 hours watch time so this channel can finally get remonetized. I still don't know what's up with that, but YouTube is YouTube. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.